Chapter 37, NRA, Lucky's Death. Toward the end of the summer, I witnessed a gun purchase. Two white men from somewhere in southern Illinois were coming up to sell us some guns. Some brothers in prison set up the deal. Loca, Lalo, and I met the two white men at a bar on North Avenue across the street from Humboldt Park. They were both big, burly men who looked like bikers. Loco and one of the men sat at a table. Lalo and the other man sat at the bar. I went to the pool table and began playing with the cue ball. Loco got up and called me. He whispered something to Lalo, then headed outside. The white man who was talking to Loco followed him, and so did I. Outside, all three of us went to the parking lot on the side of the bar to a blue Cadillac. Loco told me to look out for the cops while he took care of business. The white man opened the trunk and Loco looked inside. After about 5 minutes, Loco walked away from the Cadillac to the car we had arrived in. The white man called to me saying, "Hey little man, come check these out." I walked over and looked in the trunk. There were two wooden boxes full of guns and rifles. About 20 of what the white man told me were M1s, the kind used by the Army National Guard. That rifle used the biggest bullets I had ever seen. The white man laughed at my reaction when I saw the M1's bullets. He reached into one of the boxes, pulled out a .357 Magnum, and gave it to me. He said that it was a strong gun with not much kit, so I ought to be able to handle it. It was a gift from him to me. The gun was a little bigger than the .38 I had, but weighed about the same. The bullets were also bigger. I couldn't wait to shoot it. I stuck the gun inside the front of my pants and left it there. A feeling of strength came over me. "Kill yourself, one of them disciples. One shot will do it," the white man said. Loco parked our car next to the Cadillac and with help from the white man moved the boxes from one car to the other. Loco gave the white man a gym bag and they both sat down in the back seat of the Cadillac. I sat on the front hood of the car. I looked inside and saw them counting money. I noticed a sticker on the windshield of the Cadillac with the initials NRA in the middle and the words National Rifle Association in a circle along the borders. That's where all those guns come from, I thought. I wanted to join that group when I grew up. About 15 minutes passed. Loco got out of the car and told me to get Lalo, and we were off. I really never thought about that whole incident until much later on in life. I wonder if those white men would have sold us those guns if we lived in their city, or if we were still fighting only white gangs. We took the guns to a part of the city called Bucktown, where Lucky now lived. Bucktown also had a Latin King section. Lucky, like most of the other leaders of the Kings, moved out of the old neighborhood to stay safe. The leaders would commute to the hood for meetings or when something serious was going down. Mostly, they stayed off the streets of the hood and let the foot soldiers do whatever they needed to protect it. Lucky was an exception. Moving away did not stop him from hanging out. He began running around Bucktown with some older kings. About that same time, Lucky began changing. He became skinny and didn't bother much with personal hygiene. The rumor was out that he was shooting up dope and was going to get kicked out of the Kings. Lucky had been a king for a long time and could get mighty crazy when pushed. Loco and the other brothers decided against giving Lucky a violation. They would, however, ask him not to represent the crown anymore. Lucky showed up drunk to one of the meetings saying something about not being trusted. Apparently the Kings had moved everything they had stashed at Lucky's. He was upset. When Lucky was told not to represent, he went off. "Fuck you pussy motherfuckers. None of you can take my crown," Lucky screamed as he threw the King's hand signed up and in the air. "Don't fuck around, Lucky," Loco said. "Don't fuck around and leave." "Fuck you, Loco. Mr. Chief, you ain't shit," Lucky yelled. "Beat the shit out of this punk," Loco ordered. 4 of the junior Kings grabbed Lucky and threw him down the stairs. Lucky could be heard yelling outside about his plan for vengeance. "Watch your backs, motherfuckers. Watch your backs," shouted Lucky. "Y'all don't scare me. Amor del Rey. Once a king, always a king. If that punk comes to the hood, move on him quick," Loco ordered. 3 days later, Lucky went to the new location where the Kings had their guns and stuck up the brothers who were in charge of them. Lucky took most of the guns and sold them for drugs. The Saturday of that same week, Lucky was out in the middle of the street, strung out, swearing at the Bucktown Latin Kings. Nobody said anything to him. They just looked his way and did nothing. Suddenly, there was a boom and Lucky fell backward. He had been shot right in the forehead with an M1. The bullet went through his head and blew out the back of him. The Latin Kings killed Lucky. Nobody went to his funeral. Nobody was allowed to. Justice was served the King's way.